So you can take away from it that Castillo is 10-3 in his last 13 fights. You know, most notably for fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. in what a lot of people consider what should have been Floyd Money Mayweather Jr.'s first defeat. Well, we've learned throughout the history of time in boxing that happens to boxers. Every boxer is given a gift. And that was the gift to Floyd Mayweather. Now, since then, he has been cleanly dominating his opposition. So now you look at Castillo, what has it been, like 12 years later, something like that? Something like that. Long story short, moving forward, you got Castillo, 40 years old. He's got 12 defeats. He's been stopped 7 times. Now, he's going against the person a lot of people feel is one of the most feared 140-pound, 147-pound fighters still fighting today. In Ruslan and Rocky Provodnikov, he's 23-3 with 16 KOs. So his defeats, Mauricio Herrera, you know him very well, by the way. Oh, I'm going to get to that. Let me not move too far ahead. Mauricio Herrera, Timothy Bradley, and most importantly, Chris Algieri, who went on to fight Manny Pacquiao. We saw the issue with Provodnikov. The issue is cutting off the ring. Also, we know that if you're going to be a fighter that's going to stand there and try to trade with Provodnikov, then there's a good chance that you're probably going to die or come close to it. You know, we don't want fighters to die, obviously. But before I move on, T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live, 5:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, November the 26th, 2014. So before I forget, let me say Happy Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving yet, in about 24 hours less, actually. But let me just get it out of the way. I cover every single major fight live, every single major fight. I got videos every day of the goddamn week. That's how I roll. So, Provodnikov is in a situation. We know he has issues fighting fighters where he has to cut off the ring. Timothy Bradley could have easily defeated Ruslan Provodnikov, but Timothy Bradley had something to prove. Timothy Bradley didn't try to prove that same shit with Marquez because he didn't want to get Pacquiao'd. So, when you look at Ruslan Provodnikov, I'm asking you this. Do you consider him to still be feared? Do you still put him, do you still consider him to give, as a lot of people did last year, to knock out and destroy a Danny Garcia or Adrian Broner? One thing we know about Provodnikov, we don't know if it's going to be addressed. But I'm sure Marvin Somodio, who's been training him mostly, and then Freddie Roach, they're working on getting Provodnikov better strategies instead of just following guys with reach or, boxing ability around. Because that's what he did with Chris Algieri. Now, a guy like Freddie Roach had a crack at Chris Algieri. He lost with Ruslan Provodnikov. Got another crack with Ruslan Provodnikov. With Chris Algieri when he got Pacquiao. Freddie Roach trains them both. So what I'm asking you is this. If Chris Algieri versus Ruslan Provodnikov 2 were to happen now, let's say it is a possibility. If that were to happen, do you consider Provodnikov to have a better chance this time? Looking at the fact that Pacquiao should have stopped him, it was a bit of a late count in this fight, and Ruslan almost stopped him, or could have stopped him if he kept up the pressure and didn't allow Chris Algieri to adjust and move so much. That's the question. But let's keep it on Castillo. A lot of people are saying that he's going to get hurt. I was able to watch his last fight, clips of his last fight. I don't even want to pronounce his name. Just look it up. I don't even want to get into it because it doesn't matter. People are saying that Castillo is going to get hurt. He's been knocked out 7 times. I can see if he was a guy that was hard to stop, then I would give him a better chance. Now, he looks like he's in the best shape he's been in quite some time right now, but in his last couple of fights, man, he's been a big dude. But naturally, from what I see, Castillo is the bigger person, body-wise and, as far as height. But how is he going to hold up to Provodnikov? And then Ruslan's fighting in Russia. How is he going to hold up to that? And then it's definitely not going to go to the cards, but I don't see him surviving the cards. If he do, God bless his heart, if he survived that long. The question is, why Castillo? Ruslan Provodnikov just today, and this was at the press conference when I'm hearing, there was Shane Mosley, Zab Judah, Mauricio Herrera. They were all offered allegedly 6 figures. Count Shane Mosley out as a legitimate opponent. You can just say that was just for the name. Mauricio Herrera, that would be a very good rematch for the fans. Provodnikov saying he turned it down. He's fighting Jose Benavidez, in my opinion, which is a tougher fight. So you look at the other name, Zab Judah. Someone like Shane Mosley, but up there to the point where fans will say, okay, I would like to see that because Zab can move, but Zab folds under power, but Zab can move. So when you look at it on the other side, I did an interview with Hank Lundy about 2 weeks ago where Hank Lundy said on the interview, in fact, I'm going to link it to the video. About 1 minute or so in this video, you'll see it pop up at the bottom. So what he said is that he said he would go to Russia. And I believe him. So did Provodnikov duck him? I guess it's all about, okay, well, since we couldn't get none of these guys, let's get a guy who's a lot less expensive and, you know, it's going to sell bringing a Mexican legend over here just to beat up on, So that's basically what it is. HBO didn't pick up on the fight. If it was another fight, I'm sure they would have. They didn't pick up the fight, but it's mostly because HBO has been very stern with what fights they pick and what fights they provide. And I guess they look at it like, no, we're not airing no Castillo, just like they did to air Gennady Golovkin, and that's their boy, versus Ousmane Adama. So I look at it like this. I'm going to be here moments after. It's going to be on November the 28th, 2014. That is on a Friday. It's going to be about a Friday afternoon on Eastern and Western Standard Times in the United States. It is not televised, but of course I'll be able to watch the fight. Follow me on Facebook. My links are everything right down below. All my articles, videos, interviews with Ruslan, with Freddie Roach and, Marvin Timot, all those things, everything right down below. Just click the link. Everything you'll need is right there, Real Combat Media. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Love, basically the #1 boxing reporter on YouTube 24 hours a day. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Love.